came and said, let's have beer. And I asked the teacher, she came like this. Teacher said, no, she said, the lively, happy and all is just today. So after some time, the child felt comfortable and said to me, you see, can you know when we were coming to school today? I said, what? He said, Daddy slapped mommy and called her Olori Buruku. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. So it's not the first time. It's always happening. And she started to talk. And when I started interacting with the teacher, I got to discover that the child is also violent. So our children will be what they see and not what we tell them to be. So many children, that thing you think your child does not know, I'm sure many of the teachers in preschool in this school knows how your house runs. Yes, but because of professional ethics, they are not going to say anything to you. Many of them, up to bed 3, they know how your house runs. It is from bed 4 that children become conscious and want to be conservative. But anything below bed 4, they are innocent and they just want to speak it out as it is. So that thing you think they don't know, that conversation, that character you are putting up, that phone that rings and you are going outside to answer, I tell you, your child teacher knows that that is your character. Because that child would have been watching you from angle 90 of your house and would have even asked somebody, why does mommy behave like this? You have mentioned to one of the siblings, how said somebody that he or she is comfortable with. You are the only one living in the assumption that my child does not know. They know beyond what you think. So you can't give what you don't have. If you are going through trauma, please know your child is also going through trauma, whether you told them or not. Now, what is my counsel to parents on this? Talk to your children. If the family is going through a phase, be very, very transparent in telling your child, this is what we are going through. It will help them. When you hide these things and you conserve it and they keep on seeing, these are questions, these are itch that nobody is itching. It's a vacuum, it's a pain, it's on them because they are part of you. So you can't give what you don't have. If you are not stable, you cannot breed a stable child. It's not by dressing them neatly to be in school, packing the best lunch. It doesn't solve their problem. The child that ran to me had the best lunch ever. At least she ate it in my office that day I saw it. But could she eat it? No, I had to make somebody to feed her with so many songs and dance here and there. And I had to invite the parents. And of course, when the, sorry to say, dad came, he was like, hey, women, that's how it's full. But that's not the picture here. The issue is your child is traumatized. So please, let's handle trauma like adults. Let's not believe that they don't know. It is not our times when we are not allowed to speak about certain things. They will speak. If not to you, they will speak to people that will listen to them. So please, let's be aware today that that part of us that we think our children do not know, they do. And as we realize that our children know, let's handle it in the right way. 1, transparency. Let them know. When they know and you explain to them this is it, but it's only a phase, it's going to be over soon. We are walking through it and very soon we'll all come out of it. It will help them better. Now I'm also going to be talking about emotional safety is the real wealth. What is emotional safety? Emotional safety is the feeling you have, be it positive or negative. What is that emotional bank account your child has with you? There are so many cases of abuse all over in the society. It doesn't happen the first, the second. What happens to when it happens the first time? Why didn't that child speak to the parents? Why does it get to the point of maybe there's now a physical bruise? That is when we are running to the lawyers. We are running to the hospital. Then hospital will discover and call human rights or child rights acts as the case may be. Why is it then, only then, the parents get to know? What are our children banking on us emotionally? Do they feel safe to talk to us? Why are they not speaking to us? You think children don't have crisis? You think children are not tempted? If you send your child from your house to that shop there, I bet you there are pedophiles along the way that will be calling your child my wife. Why have your child not come back to tell you, do you know as I was going, uncle this and that said this and that to me? Why have they not done that? Because we are not open to listen. We want to build perfect children when we are not perfect. We are not raised in perfection. Our errors were corrected. People walked us through life to get to the level that we are now. Why are we not translating the same thing to our children? Let's allow these children to speak to us. They have problems just like we do. And I'll tell you today, the same problem you have as adults, children have it too. If you do not ask them, not every child will be open to you to come and tell you this and that happened. Oh, my friend said this, that one and this. Not everyone, but sometimes you strike these conversations and measure what they know. And find out if your child is going to be open enough to tell you, like going further into the secondary school, JS1, JS2. There is a conversation that goes on among girls there. You hear them talking about, have your circle started? Has it not circle? It's a competition. It doesn't start for everybody at the same time. Then you find out those who it has started for will separate themselves. The other ones are still children. Yes. And the children are feeling bad because all of us are 11-year-olds. So why am I being referred to as a child? Have your child, your female child, have they come back to tell you that? No. Why? Then you go further to the boys. Some of them begin to see one strand or two here from JSS3 and others do not have. And you find out that some of the girls are talking to some boys and they are not talking to others. Have your child come to tell you that, oh, Susan in my class talks more to John and is not talking to me, and that conversation happened in your house? If it has not, please initiate it. Because whether we like it or not, because I am a pastor and I'm preaching morality does not mean that my daughter is not going to be asked out by somebody who does not have moral value. That is the bitter truth. Now, what I am not always going to be where my child is. That is, unfortunately, that is life. You are not always going to be around your children 100%. You are not always going to be in their conversations. You are not always going to be where they have to defend the foundations they have. But what is going to save them is what you have put inside them. Because you have done so much morally as a parent at home, the danger of it is that your children will go out and meet those who have zero in their moral bank accounts. So what happens? That's why we see some children from very good homes falling into a mess. Let's initiate certain conversations that we think are an abomination to talk about. While we are nursing as parents and adults that these are abominations, it is happening practically in our children's life. Now, going further into the senior secondary school, there is this slang they have among the girls, pop. You will just pass by and you will hear, Susie, what happened this weekend? How was your weekend? You hear, it has popped. Nothing comes to your mind because you don't understand their slangs. Susie has just been virgin. Yes. And for those who have not, guess what? Their children, they are going to be put in one corner. And so those who are in one corner are going to be struggling to fit in. What are you doing as a parent? They are just dressing up every day, putting on uniforms, carry lunch bag, enter school bus, and they assume all is well. All is not well, I tell you today. These conversations must happen. If we do not teach our children the value of chastity and morals, the society is going to teach them the benefit of immorality. And guess what? In the world we live now, evil thrives. In fact, morality is becoming old-fashioned. If you are too much of a decent person, you are going to be having problems. So if we do not stand firm to teach our children the harshness of the reality of the times that they are in now, it's going to take us by surprise, and may heavens help us not to find ourselves in such surprises. Because of the nature of my job, I can tell you how many parents have sent for therapy because of the shock they got from their children's activity. Now also, because a child has fallen into one mess or the other, does not mean that that is determinant of that child's destiny. It's also a phase and a process, but it now depends on how it is handled. Sometimes some of the worst teenagers we see make the best family people. Yes. So because a child has taken another turn in life, parents are fast to discard. You look like your mother, you look like your father. Get out from my sight, this and that, and it's not so. These are phases that will happen to individuals at different times. Have we not noticed that most adults grow up to become the version of what they cried for as children? Most adults who grow up in violent and abusive homes become abusers themselves. Have we not noticed? And we sit and we are discussing, and he used to cry when the father used to beat the mother, or he used to cry when the mother used to pour hot water on the father, but today he's beating and pouring water. What happened? There were questions that were never answered. There were gaps that were never filled. And what happened? The child grew up and saw it as the only way of life and indirectly adopted it. And that goes further to tell us that the values we accept, you are not just accepting it as an individual, you are making it a culture and pattern in your generations to come. Now I'm looking at parenting by example, not just by instructions. We feel comfortable dishing out instructions. Before I come back, wash that plate. Before I go and come back, prepare that jollof rice. In fact, once I come, let your uniform, let this be in the church, that, and how many of that have you done yourself? Let me tell you, as your children grow older, do you know what they do? While you are dishing those instructions, they will all stand like this and be listening. As soon as you go, they start mimicking you. If you have CCTV cameras in your house, go and watch it. Once you leave, they will start mimicking you because none of those things will be done until 30 minutes before you arrive back. And let me tell you, you cannot beat Gen Z in manipulation because they'll be calling you throughout the day. I want to know how your day is going. You say, lie, they are monitoring you throughout your day. Have you had lunch? What of the meeting you spoke about? Did you go well? That child are not even here at home. They are just keeping tabs so that they will know when to come to your house in order if you come back, you meet the perfection that you are looking for. Yes. But when we lead by example, today is Saturday, you wake up, carry your brush and broom, wake all of them and let us. They will now have a culture that Saturdays are for cleaning. In fact, there are Saturdays they will wake up before you do and start the cleaning so that you won't come with your wallet. So we must learn to lead by examples, not just by dishing out instructions here and there. It was during our time instruction worked. Do you see that belt? Before I would pour my spit here and it will dry up, go and fetch that water and come and it will be running. If you do it now, then you carry buckets, go out there and play PS5. What else is not easy? Meanwhile, that bucket is carrying, just know that the friends are bucking him for you not having time in your house already. So you rather face your beating than face the mockery of the friends. But if you have that culture of this is the value we have in our family, we don't live by other people's merits. Your child will live above external force. They will have you in mind in everything they do. So let us model kindness, integrity, conflict resolution. Our children are going to school, we are telling them don't use foul language. The same child you are going to church or going out to ShopRite, somebody drives past you, so a very stupid driver. And then Monday morning, that child is going to school, you say don't use foul words. From the gate, he's going to tell his friend you are very stupid. Yes, and toddler 7 will invite you for a conversation. So let's model realistically. Lead by example. It's not by how many instructions you want. Children do not thrive like that anymore. It happens even in the classroom too. You are that teacher that is very harsh. You don't have all the reasons they have in their heads to give you. They are going to give you 1,000 reasons to beat whatever it is you want to hold them responsible for. And at the end of the day, they will leave you confused. You even be asking yourself, well, am I sure of what I reported? You are not wiser than this generation. We need to know that times have changed. And you can only be a part of them to parent effectively. Conflict resolution is another part of parenting we have to be very, very cautious about. We have issues with our spouse because, yeah, in an environment where two people are the ones in conflict, how do we resolve it? That's a very important question we must ask ourselves, because if your child does not become the version of daddy you are avoiding, it will become the version of mommy you are avoiding. And sometimes they see these things and they come to ask you, Mommy, what happened between you and daddy? You lie to them. It is well. It is not well. They know that it is not well. So what happened? It was a misunderstanding. This happened, but we resolve it. We are adults. Sometimes it happens. Be realistic. Because when you are not realistic, Saturday today is happening, on Monday they will come to school and tell their friends, Toby, do you know mommy and daddy are even in my house they argue too. Yes, I was in a class, that conversation was happening among 8-year-olds. During break, they sat in a circle and we were discussing. Do you know my daddy is very wicked? The second person answered, yes, we always shouting, even the one in my house. It was just one child that had the opposite version. Others were like, yeah, he will just be coming from the gates. You will start running. If you don't open the gate on time, you will start shouting, and when my mom will say welcome, you will face her. Yeah, that's what I said. You will face. That was it. It's like my daddy, very wicked people. And then when you come in the afternoon to pick that child, you run, daddy, you don't know you have specified you in the class. But your child teacher knows. So the way we resolve conflict in the house is very, very